Hey everyone, this is Gina Doyle and Darren Eastman. We're going to talk about the 16.7 milestone plan for the runner group. And I'll start off with runner fleet. So I'll just share my screen real quick to show you what we're working on. So this milestone, in 16.6, the previous milestone, we were able to ship out our fleet dashboard only for self-managed users who are on the ultimate plan. And in order to adopt that, we're running an early adopters program so that customers can start using it at its early stages, and then we can collect feedback on how you feel it's performing and helping you. And so for 16.7, we're still going to be focusing on the fleet dashboard to allow you to get more visibility into your fleets that you manage. But we'll do a little bit of a mix of getting to the feedback that customers provide us, and then also working on a new feature, which is giving more information about your usage of your runners across the projects. So specifically, we'll be working on providing a CSV export of compute minutes of the instance runners per project, so that you get a sense of how many minutes each project uses. And that will just be our first MVC. And then eventually that will evolve into a full report. So it's going to be very exciting new features there. We're also still working on some ClickHouse migration documentation that might evolve in 16.7 as well. And ClickHouse is something that's going to be necessary to use the fleet dashboard for self-managed instances. And then finally, for the UX side of things, I'll be working on some solution validation to see if the fleet dashboard will also work for group level or group owners, I guess, on GitLab SaaS. So I'll just be validating the current dashboard that we use for admin area, see if that type of metrics or those types of metrics are still useful for the group view. And that's it. So I'll pass it off to Darren to talk about the rest.
Hey, thanks, Gina. Just fumbling looking for my button. Let me share my screen really fast for everyone. And Gina was showing the 16.7 runner group iteration plan. And again, this has all of the details in terms of those issues that we're trying to work on, but we hope to get to in 16.7. In terms of new features for Runner Core, over the next couple of iterations, I'm probably going to focus a lot on specifically GitLab Runner autoscaling. And let me just pop over here for a moment to the docs page on that to give you a bit of context. So we've had this docs page, up for maybe a few milestones now, 4 or 5 milestones now. But this is the new GitLab Runner autoscaling documentation page. I would really suggest you take a look at this first, land on this page, because this is our replacement solution for autoscaling the runner on virtual machine or instances on the major hyperscale cloud platforms, Google, Azure, AWS. And so what we're working on right now, what we have already accomplished is that the underlying technology has transitioned to beta. So we have 2 executors that are part of this package. One is the instance executor, and then one is the Docker autoscaler executor. Those 2 executors have transitioned to beta. And we also have what's called a plugin framework. And that's going to be one of the reasons why I'll be talking a bit more about this in the next couple of iterations. And also there'll be some blog posts as well. The Amazon Web Services or the EC2, the AWS plugin, that's transitioned to beta. And the Google Compute Engine plugin has also transitioned to beta. So what we're working on in 16.7 is going to be transitioning the plugin for Azure to beta. So the goal is at the end of 16.7, the plugins for all of the top 3 hyperscalers that we're planning to support as part of this first iteration of the new autoscaler will be in beta. And then we'll be talking about in the next couple of releases, kind of our plans to then transition the technology and the plugins to generally available. So I'll be talking a bit more about those plans in the next set of iterations. So for 16.7, the core thing for the runner team to get over the finish line in terms of new features that's really going to add a lot of value to our customers is the Fleeting plugin for Azure. So just to recap, the auto-scaling solution, the replacement for Docker machine-based auto-scaling, is now available in beta. The plugins for AWS is available. The plugins for Google Compute Engine is available. The next thing is to deliver the plugins for Azure Virtual Machines. And so between beta and GA, there are some things that we'll be working on, such as like improving the packaging of the plugins and that sort of thing. And then just to wrap up Runner Core for 16.7, as always, we invest a lot of time, a lot of engineering resources each iteration on working through significant bugs in our backlog. And so you'll see that listed here as well. And then there's also some other, just quick aside, there's also some interesting features that we're working on in regards improving the log rendering mechanism that actually shouldn't be more of kind of Gina's thing, will be displayed in the UI. So we're improving some of the log outputs, specifically for multi-line commands, right? So you can actually see those in the logs in a much better way. And hopefully we'll also be getting to this other features where we'll be looking to add timestamps to the CI logs. So back to you, Gina. That's it from Runner Core. Back to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Darren. Well, we're really excited for 16.7. And as always, if you have feedback or questions for us, feel free to go into that issue or contact Darren or I with those things. Thank you for watching.
Thanks, everyone.